I'm Brittany Lewis, a breaking news reporter here at Forbes. Joining me now is Texas-based immigration attorney Kate Lincoln-Goldfinch. Kate, thank you so much for joining me.
Thanks for having me on, Brittany.
I want to talk about a story that you and I broke down a couple months ago, and that is about Kilmar Abrego Garcia. This is a case that some have said shows the Trump administration's really aggressive approach when it comes to immigration. Critics have called this an assault on due process. But to start off the conversation, I want to give a rough timeline of what's happened so far. Earlier this year, Abrego Garcia was mistakenly deported to El Salvador. He returned to the United States in June, and then he was detained on human smuggling charges, and now he's currently awaiting a January trial on those charges. On Friday, he was released from custody in Tennessee, and he returned to Maryland. But this past Monday, he was once again detained after reporting to ICE in Maryland. And DHS is now saying they could deport him to Uganda, but a federal judge temporarily blocked his deportation. There have been certainly a lot of developments in the past couple of days especially. So provide your perspective here as an immigration attorney. What do you make of what's happened in recent days?
Yeah, that was an excellent and very quick summary of what has been a long and windy and very emotional road for Kilmar and his family. I think that the Trump administration made a mistake, and the right thing to do at the beginning would have been to acknowledge the mistake, bring Kilmar home, and that would have been the end of the story. But instead, they're unwilling to admit error, and so they doubled down and tried to convince the American public that Kilmar is dangerous and tried to bring alien smuggling charges against him and are now threatening to deport him to Uganda. And it's really heartbreaking. I feel terribly for this young man, for his family, for his wife, for due process in this country. It's been difficult to watch that someone in his situation who obtained protection from immigration court that said he would not be deported to El Salvador, then had that very thing happen to him. And it's almost as if he's continually punished because of the government's mistake. It's really, really unjust when you dive into the facts.
So let's talk about why exactly Uganda, because back in 2019, an immigration judge said that he could not be deported back to El Salvador because he faced gang violence there. So he was given the status of withholding of removal. So in this context, what exactly does that mean? Just that he can't go to El Salvador and he can go anywhere else in the world?
Technically, yes. Withholding of removal is a lot like asylum. Someone has to prove that they will suffer persecution in their country if they are removed. It's a tough thing to win. I've had a lot of these cases before the immigration court, and you have to bring a lot of evidence and get through cross-examination. It's actually harder to win than asylum, believe it or not. But withholding of removal is less protective, and it only says that the person can't be removed to the country that they've sought protection from. So in his case, it's El Salvador. And normally and historically, that would be the end of the conversation because we've never really seen people deported to third countries. But this is a brainchild of the Trump administration where if they can't deport people to their countries of origin, they're looking for alternatives to get people out of the United States. And so they brokered these deals with other nations to accept our deportees. And so that's why Kilmar could be deported to Uganda, because under withholding of removal, he's only protected against deportation to El Salvador, and the country of Uganda presumably has brokered a deal with the United States to receive some of our deportees. So it's really important that the judge has blocked that deportation because I think he would be on a plane very quickly to Uganda or some other country if it weren't for that order.